This is the set of Camille at the Guthrie Theater. It's the set that few people seldom see from this particular vantage point. Should tell that Guthrie looks strangely more imposing when you're looking at it with only a few working lights. To tell you what happens behind the scenes, we have a delightful lady that we'd like you to meet. This is Sheila Livingston. Sheila, it's nice to meet you.
It's really nice to be with you this afternoon.
You know, much of the incredible expertise and renown that the Guthrie has is not really attributable to the actors and to the directors that are involved, but all the people behind the scenes. Can you give us a tour of that?
Yes, there really are a lot of people who make the play come to life. At the theater here, there are about 200 people who work in various capacities. 35 of them are actors and actresses, and it takes a lot of people and a lot of skill and talent to make it go. There are 1,440 seats which surround the stage in a 200-degree arc. It's called a thrust stage because it does indeed thrust out into the audience. And directors use it in a variety of ways. For example, the different aisles can be used for entrances. We have two bombs which people use to exit or to enter. And so there's enormous capabilities from this kind of stage.
We can hear some workmen working right now behind us. They are back here in the scene shop?
Yes, the scene shop is directly behind the stage, which is really done for efficiency. As you know, we play in repertory, so Camille is on tonight, but tomorrow Wild Oats will be on. And because of union requirements, the stage has to be reset within a 1-hour time limit. So you can see that this kind of efficiency is necessary. The sets are constructed directly behind the stage, and if the doors weren't open, we could have a performance here, for example, on a Wednesday afternoon, and the construction could still be taking place.
We'll give you a look inside the scene shop in just a moment, but right now let's find out how it got to that point. Set designs at the Guthrie are translated with incredible detail into these miniature designs that duplicate everything that will eventually show up on stage. That's a little tiny owl that I just pointed out to you. Sheila, what is this set for?
This is for the Tavern, which is the George M. Cohan show that will be opening on August 21st. And as you can see, it really is built in every possible detail. It isn't indulgence. It's really so that the audience can see the show properly and to make sure that the props work the way we want them to work.
And as you take a look at that owl, there are a number of other replicas of, or miniatures in a sense, aren't there, Sheila, of some of the productions here?
Yes, there's Monsieur de Molière, there's Marriage. Up above, there's Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. And directly behind me and up above is Romeo and Juliet, Glass Menagerie. And so there's a lot of theatrical history right in this room.
From the miniature models that you've seen have eventually evolved into the reality of the Guthrie Theater. This is going to be what kind of a set, Sheila?
This is going to be the set for the Tavern, which is a wonderful melodrama by George M. Cohan. It takes place in a tavern on a very windstormy night. And every time the door opens, which is right behind us,
Okay.
Warren, there's going to be a wind machine that's going to blow wind and rain onto the set. So it has to be built very sturdy because there's a lot of people seeking refuge from that storm.
You know, until we started talking, this was a hubbub of activity with welding and sawing and sanding and hammering and everything else, and all of a sudden they very courteously stopped working so we can talk.
I know. I think that was awfully nice of them.
This artist's rendering of an elegant men's robe is one of the things being created up here in the costume shop, and we have a nearly finished elegant men's robe. This is Becky Chipman who decided to model it. Hi, Becky.
Hi.
You're working on this one, is that right?
Yeah,
Okay, and what, did you try it on just for fun, or to see how it's progressing?
both.
Okay. How many of you work up in the costume area, approximately?
There are about 15 to 20 people in this room, and then about 5 or 6 more people downstairs in the
Okay.
dye shop and the wig shop.
What's going to happen to here when this is finished? Who will this be for? What costume?
This is for Bob Nadir in the Tavern.
We don't use an assembly line technique. Each person works on a complete garment so that when they do go to a show, they can say, that's the one that I made.
We notice over here the pattern is being cut into paper first, then it's being fulfilled in a muslin rendition.
Muslin, right, and then after the muslin is improved by the director and the designer, then it is actually made into the finished garment itself. There are 5 cutters who take the rendering and make it into patterns, which is a very complicated process. And then the people up here, of course, are very skilled and are noted throughout the country for their excellent work.
The wig makers labor over individual human hairs that are painstakingly hand-tied. The wigs are combed and reshaped daily. After every 3 performances, each wig is restyled to keep its appearance perfect. Along with elaborate headpieces, they work on mustaches, beards, and sideburns to complete the total costume look. And the Guthrie has accumulated a multitude of costumes. They're mind-boggling pairs of shoes and even collections of underwear.
Just like everybody else, Warren comes down to our costume storage room and wants to pretend. Here he is, as King Claudius from Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. Isn't this a wonderful room?
It's magnificent. It took me about 3 minutes to figure out how to put it on. It's just gigantic inside. This really is sort of the living history of 18 years of the Guthrie Theater, with just literally hundreds and hundreds of costumes.
It really is. You can't help but come in here and think of memories, wonderful memories of plays you've seen, characters, actors. It's just filled with nostalgia.
Why are they being preserved here?
Well, for many reasons. Firstly, some of them go on costume display. We have a traveling display. We have a costume show that goes out to many different organizations. In addition, someday, I hope we will have a theatrical museum. The other thing is we sometimes reuse costumes, particularly ones that have not been as spectacular as others. The more spectacular, the less likelihood there is of it being used again.
And the amazing thing is that all of these hundreds of costumes from every period, every era, every design are all cataloged so they can put their hands on them in a hurry for reference. A look behind the scenes at the Guthrie includes an appearance of literally hundreds of pairs of shoes and other bits of memorabilia and costumes. It's a rare opportunity for anyone to have this.
Yes, it is, and there is an opportunity, though. This Sunday afternoon from 12 to 3, we're inviting the community to our open house.
What does it cost?
It costs nothing. We're inviting them, and we hope people will come and see all the backstage areas of the theater.
Bruce Margolis is the Associate Technical Director here at the Guthrie Theater, and he is located high above almost everybody in the theater, watching the performance and perhaps enjoying it, but also working. What happens up in the control booth?
Well, the control booth is the place where during the run of a show, the stage manager, the electrician, and the sound operator all sit to actually run the show. The light cues are all programmed in our lighting system here, which is a memory system board that has the capability of memorizing up to 200 presets worth of information.
Okay. And the sound system?
And the sound system is over across the room. We might get a shot of it in a second. It's quite a large system, mainly an effects system that's got we've got 20 different speaker locations throughout the room, and they're under the stage, over the stage, all the way around the room. The thrust stage really lends itself to sound effects because we can do a lot of environmental things that in a proscenium stage you can't quite get the same feel for.
Is the director up here during the performance?
No, once the show opens, the director is gone. I mean, it's turned over to the stage manager, whose job it is to run the show, to maintain it in the same state that it was when it opened up. And the electrician and the sound operator have the job of just making sure that the same show happens every night.
What's new behind the scenes at the Guthrie, showing you why they're proud as a peacock.